we celebrate our champion. We sing hallelujah, for the King who is victorious. We lift our hands, we lift our voice, we celebrate our champion. We sing hallelujah, for the King who is victorious. Yahuwah is the awesome one, and there is none like you. With you we win, you're our champion. With you we can lose, we always win, you're our champion. Oh, we lift our hands, we lift our voice, we celebrate our champion. We sing hallelujah, for the King who is victorious. Yahuwah is the awesome one, and there is none like you. With you we win, you're our champion. With you we can lose, we always win, you're our champion. Oh, Yahuwah is the awesome one, and there is none like you. With you we win, you're our champion. With you we can lose, we always win, you're our champion. Oh, we lift our hands, we lift our voice, we celebrate our champion. We sing hallelujah, for the King who is victorious. Yahuwah is the awesome one, and there is none like you. With you we live, you're our champion. With you we can lose, we always win, you're our champion. Oh, Yahuwah is the awesome one, and there is none like you. With you we win, you're our champion. With you we can lose, we always win, you're our champion. Oh, we lift our hands, we lift our voice, we celebrate our champion. We sing hallelujah, for the King who is victorious. We lift our hands, we lift our voice, we celebrate our champion. We sing hallelujah, for the King who is victorious. there's none like you. With you we win. You're our champion. With you we can lose. We always win. You're our champion. Oh, you are the awesome one. There is none like you. With you we win. You're our champion. With you we can lose. We always win. You're our champion. Oh, you are the awesome one. There is none like you. With you we win. You're our champion. With you we can lose. We always win. You're our champion. Oh, we lift our hands. We lift our voice. We celebrate our champion. We sing hallelujah, for the King who is victorious. We lift our hands. We lift our voice. We celebrate our champion. We sing hallelujah, for the King who is victorious. You are the awesome one, and there is none like you. With you we win. You're our champion. With you we can lose. We always win. You're our champion. Oh, you are the awesome one. There's none like you. With you we win. You're our champion. With you we can lose. We always win. You're our champion. Oh, you are the awesome one. There's none like you. With you we win. You're our champion. With you we can lose. We always win. You're our champion. Oh, we lift our hands. We lift our voice. We celebrate our champion. We sing hallelujah, for the King who is victorious. We lift our hands. We lift our voice. We celebrate our champion. We sing hallelujah, for the King who is victorious. You are the awesome one. There's none like you. With you we win. You're our champion. With you we can lose. We always win. You're our champion. Oh, like you. With you we win. You're our champion. With you we can lose. We always win. You're our champion. Oh, you are the awesome one. And there's none like you. With you we win. You're our champion. With you we can lose. We always win. You're our champion. Oh, you are the awesome one. And there's none like you. With you we win. You're our champion. With you we can lose. We always win. You're our champion. Oh, we lift our hands. We lift our voice. We celebrate our champion. We sing hallelujah, for the King who is victorious. We lift our hands, we lift our voice, we celebrate our champion. We sing hallelujah, for the King who is victorious. Yahuwah is the awesome one, and there's none like you. With you we win. You're our champion. With you we can lose. We always win. You're our champion. Oh, Yahuwah is the awesome one, and there's none like you. With you we win. You're our champion. With you we can lose. We always win. You're our champion. Oh, we lift our hands. We lift our voice. We celebrate our champion. We sing hallelujah, for the King who is victorious. We lift our hands, we lift our voice, we celebrate our champion. We sing hallelujah, for the King who is victorious. Yahuwah is the awesome one, and there's none like you. With you we win. You're our champion. With you we can lose. We always win. You're our champion. Oh, we lift our hands, we lift our voice, we celebrate our champion. We sing hallelujah, for the King who is victorious. lift our hands, we lift our voice, we celebrate our champion. We sing hallow, hallow Yahuwah, for the King who is victorious. Yahuwah is the awesome one, and there's none like you. With you we live, you're our champion. With you we can lose, we always win. You're our champion. Oh, Yahuwah is the awesome one, and there's none like you. With you we win. You're our champion. With you we can lose, we always win. You're our champion. Oh, Yahuwah is the awesome one, and there's none like you. With you we win. You're our champion. With you we can lose, we always win. You're our champion. Oh, Yahuwah is the awesome one, and there's none like you. With you we win. You're our champion. With you we can lose, we always win. You're our champion. Oh, we lift our hands, we lift our voice, we celebrate our champion. We sing hallow, hallow Yahuwah, for the King who is victorious. We lift our hands, we lift our voice, we celebrate our champion. We sing hallow, hallow Yahuwah, for the King who is victorious. Yahuwah is the awesome one, and there's none like you. With you we win. You're our champion. With you we can lose, we always win. You're our champion. We bring a sacrifice of praise into the house of Yahuwah. We bring a sacrifice of praise into the house of and we offer up to you the sacrifices of thanksgiving, and we offer up to you the sacrifices of praise. We bring the sacrifice of praise into the house of Yahuwah. We bring the sacrifice of praise into the house of Yahuwah, and we offer up to you the sacrifices of thanksgiving, and we offer up to you the sacrifices of praise. We bring the sacrifice of praise into the house of Yahuwah. We bring the sacrifice of praise into the house of Yahuwah, and we offer up to you the sacrifices of thanksgiving, and we offer up to you the sacrifices of praise. We bring the sacrifice of praise into the house of Yahuwah. We bring the sacrifice of praise into the house of Yahuwah, and we offer up to you the sacrifices of thanksgiving, and we offer up to you the sacrifices of praise. We bring sacrifice of praise into the house of Yahuwah. We bring sacrifice of praise into the house of Yahuwah, and we offer up to you the sacrifices of thanksgiving, and we offer up to you the sacrifices of praise. We bring the sacrifice of praise into the house of Yahuwah. We bring the sacrifice of praise into the house of Yahuwah, and we offer up to you the sacrifices of thanksgiving, and we offer up to you the sacrifices of praise. We bring sacrifice of praise into the house of Yahuwah. We bring sacrifice of praise into the house of Yahuwah, and we offer up to you the sacrifices of thanksgiving, and we offer up to you the sacrifices of praise. We bring the sacrifice of praise into the house of Yahuwah. We bring the sacrifice of praise into the house of Yahuwah, and we offer up to you the sacrifices of thanksgiving, and we offer up to you the sacrifices of praise. We bring the sacrifice of praise into the house of Yahuwah. We bring the sacrifice of praise into the house of Yahuwah. And we offer up to you the sacrifices of thanksgiving. And we offer up to you the sacrifices of praise. Let the power of Yahuwah rise among us. Let the power of Yahuwah rise among us. Let the praises of our King rise among us. Let it rise. Let the power of Yahuwah rise among us. Let the power of Yahuwah rise among us. Let the praises of our King rise among us. Let it rise. Oh, 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 let it rise. Oh, 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 let it rise. Let the power of Yahuwah rise among us. Let the power of Yahuwah rise among us. Let the praises of our King rise among us. Let it rise. Let the power of Yahuwah rise among us. Let the power of Yahuwah rise among us. Let the praises of our King rise among us. Let it rise. Oh, 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 let it rise. Oh, 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 let it rise. Oh, let it rise. Let the power of Yahuwah rise among us. Let the power of Yahuwah rise among us. Let the praises of our King rise among us. Let it rise. Let the power of Yahuwah rise among us. Let the power of Yahuwah rise among us. Let the praises of our King rise among us. Let it rise. Oh, 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 let it rise. Oh, 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 let it rise. Oh, oh, let it rise. Let the power of Yahuwah rise among us. Let the power of Yahuwah rise among us. Let the praises of our King rise among us. Let it rise. Let the power of Yahuwah rise among us. Let the power of Yahuwah rise among us. Let the praises of our King rise among us. Let it rise. Oh, 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 King rise among us. Let it rise. Let the power of Yahuwah rise among us. Let the power of Yahuwah rise among us. Let the praises of our King rise among us. Let it rise. Oh, 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 oh. Let it rise. 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 Let the power of Yahuwah rise among us. Let the power of Yahuwah rise among us. Let the praises of our King rise among us. Let it rise. Let the power of Yahuwah rise among us. Let the power of Yahuwah rise among us. Let the praises of our King rise among us. Let it rise. Oh, 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 oh. Let it rise. 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 Oh, oh, oh. Let it
He's worthy of all esteem. We bring greetings from messengers of Yahuwah's Kingdom Hebraic Belief Congregation located in South Carolina. We just appreciate the Abba for yet allowing us to celebrate, commemorate another time of rest. At this time, we want to go forward with the Baruch of the Torah, and then we're going to go into the Ten Commandments. And it is so.
And it is so.
All right, repeat with me. Baruch Yahuwah.
Baruch Yahuwah.
The Baruch one.
The Baruch one.
Baruch is Yahuwah.
Baruch is Yahuwah.
The Baruch one.
The Baruch one.
For all eternity.
For all eternity.
Baruch atah.
Baruch atah.
Yahuwah.
Yahuwah.
Our supreme one.
Our supreme
King of the universe.
King of the universe.
Who selected us from all the peoples.
Who selected us from all the peoples.
And gave us his Torah.
And gave us his Torah.
Baruch atah.
Baruch atah.
Yahuwah.
Yahuwah.
Giver of the Torah.
Giver of the Torah.
And it is so.
And it is so.
Baruch atah.
Baruch atah.
Yahuwah.
Yahuwah.
Our supreme one.
Our supreme one.
King of the universe.
King of the universe.
Who gave us the Torah of truth.
Who gave us the Torah of truth.
And implanted eternal life within us.
And implanted eternal life within us.
Baruch atah.
Baruch atah.
Yahuwah.
Yahuwah.
Giver of the Torah.
Giver of the Torah.
And it is so.
And it is so.
And it is so. Now we'll have the Ten Commandments read by Mattathias, and it is so.
And it is so.
Devarim 5, 6-22. Aleph. I am Yahuwah your power, which brought you out of the land of Mitzrayim from the bed of slavery. Bet you shall have no other power before me. You shall not make you any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in Shemayim above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the mine beneath the earth. You shall not bow down yourself unto them, nor serve them. For I, Yahuwah your power, am a jealous power, visiting the iniquity of the Abbas upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that hate me and keep my commandments. Gimel, you shall not take the name of Yahuwah your power and falsify it. For Yahuwah will not hold him guiltless that takes his name and empties it. Dalet, guard the Sabbath day to set it apart, as Yahuwah your power has commanded you. Excuse me. 6 days you shall labor and do all your work. But the seventh day is the Sabbath of Yahuwah your power. In it you shall not do any work. You, nor your son, nor your daughter, nor your manservant, nor your maidservant, nor your ox, nor your ass, nor any of your cattle, nor your foreigner that is within your gates, that your manservant and your maidservant may rest as well as you. And remember that you were a servant in the land of Mitzrayim, and that Yahuwah your power brought you out of there through a mighty hand and by a stretched out arm. Therefore Yahuwah your power commanded you to keep the Sabbath day. Hey, esteem your Abba and your Ima as Yahuwah your power has commanded you, that your days may be prolonged and that it may go well with you in the land which Yahuwah your power is about to give you. Why? You shall not murder. Saying, neither shall you commit adultery. Ket, neither shall you steal. Tet, neither shall you bear false witness against your neighbor. You, neither shall you desire your neighbor's Isha, neither shall you cover your neighbor's bed, his field, or his manservant, or his maidservant, his ox, or his ass, or anything that is your neighbor's. These words Yahuwah spoke unto all your assembly in the mount, out of the midst of the fire, of the cloud, and of the thick darkness with a great voice. And he added no more. And he wrote them in 2 tables of stone and delivered them unto me. And it is so.
And it is so. Devarim chapter 6, verses 1 through 18. And it reads, these are the commandments, the statutes, and the judgments which Yahuwah your power commanded to teach you, that you might do them in the land where you're going to enter and possess it, that you might fear Yahuwah your power to keep all his statutes and his commandments, which I command you, you and your son and your grandson, all the young men of your life, and that your young men may be prolonged. Hear therefore, O Yasharal, and observe to do it, that it may be well with you, and that you may increase mightily as Yahuwah power of your Abbas, as promised you in the land that flows with milk and honey. Shema Yasharal, Yahuwah our power, Yahuwah is Akkad. Hear, O Yasharal, Yahuwah our supreme one, Yahuwah is Akkad. And you shall ahab Yahuwah your supreme one with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your might. And these words which I command you this yom shall be in your heart. And you shall teach them diligently unto your children, and shall talk of them when you sit in your bed, and when you walk by the way, and when you lie down, and when you rise up. And you shall bind them for a sign upon your hand, and they shall be as tefillets between your eyes. To what? Say it like you mean it.
To fall.
To fall. To bind to the mind, to give the Torah access to your mind. And it is so. And you shall write them upon the posts of your bed and on your gates. And it shall be when Yahuwah your power shall have brought you into the land which he swore unto your fathers, to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Yaakov, to give you great cities which you did not build, houses full of all great things which you filled not, wells dug which you did not dig, vineyards and olive trees which you did not plant. When you shall have eaten and be full, then beware. Somebody say beware.
Beware.
Lest you forget Yahuwah, which brought you forth out of the land of Mitzrayim from the bed of slavery. You shall fear Yahuwah your power, and serve him, and shall swear by his name. Verse 13, I want to take a pause break right here just to elaborate on this verse. Something that I'm finding more and more every yom is that the fear of Abba Yahuwah is not in us like it should be.
No.
It is not. All you have to do is look at the names, look at the posts, look at a lot of things and how we carry ourselves as a people. These are some of the things that we have to remember. We cannot lose our sensitivity concerning the things of the Abba, because the moment we step into that arena, we're going to lose out. We're going to lose out. And so we don't want to lose out with the Abba. When we fear him, it means to reverence him. If we don't fear him and reverence him, then watch this, we remove the boundaries. And if there are no boundaries, then that means we just do whatever we want to do. And you have to understand, It's more than just being able to say I'm a Hebrew. It's more than just saying, well, I can trace my lineage back. It's about being dedicated and committed to this way of life and serving him, and not just going through Monday through the beginning of the week, the first day, all the way to the Sabbath, and saying now it's Sabbath, so I ain't gonna do anything. But what did you do throughout the week that merits your rest? He said, rest from all of our labors. This just doesn't mean laboring for our natural food. This means laboring for the kingdom. So it's important that we understand that we not get this misconstrued and get it twisted. And we should always have a heart that we always ask the Abba, if I'm doing something wrong, please let me know. I don't want to do anything to offend you. There was a song that Israel New Breed sung. He said, break my heart with the things that break your heart. Now you have to understand the concept and the meaning of that. We already know what breaks the Abba's heart. Are y'all following me? Yes. When we don't follow in his instructions. So it's not, I don't want to put it in this manner that it's a no-brainer, but it's one of those things that we can't afford to sit up and walk and say, well, he understands my heart, but do we know his heart? See, we all want to say that the Abba, because he knows my heart, but do you know his heart? What is it that he desires of us? What is it that he wants from us? He said, a broken and contrite ruach, I will not despise or reject. We have to come to a place in our lives where we're saying, Abba, there's nothing else that matters but my walk and my relationship with you. And whatever I have to do to make it work, I'm willing to make it work because I don't want to lose out in this walk. Very important for us to understand that. Many times people do things just for the sake of doing it and say things just for the sake of saying it. But, we got to really be in this thing, and we really have to love the Abba, because if not, we'll be all over the place. We will. This is why, once again, when you go on the media, and I don't care what time of morning or what time of night, Layla, you go, it's always the same thing. And if you're not careful, it'll become just a habit of doing things. Now, I know people post because that's what they do, and they believe that is what they're supposed to do. Whatever you do, long as the Abba gets the esteem out of it. But even with that, we have to be careful because what we may think he gets esteem out of, he doesn't have to get esteem out of. So it's important that we remember to fear him. And to fear him means I'm going to reverence him, and I'm not going to do anything that's going to get me in trouble. And I'm always remain open to be, so I can be sensitive. So if I am doing something, I'll be able to feel the conviction of the Abba. Because where there is no conviction, there can be no change. Right. And when there is no change, guess what happens? We continue to do the same thing over and over again. And I don't know about you, but I don't want to walk in that way. I don't want to. I don't want to lose my relationship with him. And it is so. You shall not go after the power of the people which are round about you. For Yahuwah, your power is a jealous power among you, lest the anger of Yahuwah, your power, be kindled against you, and he destroy you from off the face of the earth. You shall not tempt Yahuwah, your power, as you tempted him in Massah. You shall diligently keep the commandments of Yahuwah, your power, and his testimonies and his statutes, which he has commanded you. And you shall do that which is right in the sight of Yahuwah, that it may be well with you, and that you may go in and possess the great land which Yahuwah sworn to your Abbas, and it is so.
And it is so.
And it is so. All right, let us have another song, please.
Oh, give thanks unto Yahuwah, for he is great. Yes, he is great. Oh, give thanks unto Yahuwah, for he is great. Yes, he is great, for he is worthy, for he is great. Yes, he is great. Oh, give thanks unto Yahuwah, for he is great. Yes, he is great. Oh, give thanks unto Yahuwah, for he is great. Yes, he is great. For he is worthy, for he is great. Yes, he is great, for he is worthy, worthy, for he is great. Yes, he is great, for he is worthy, worthy, for he is great. Yes, he is great. Oh, give thanks unto Yahuwah, for he is great. Yes, he is great. Oh, give thanks unto Yahuwah, for he is great. Yes, he is great. Oh, give thanks unto Yahuwah, for he is great. Yes, he is great. Oh, give thanks unto Yahuwah, for he is great. Yes, he is great. For he is worthy, worthy, for he is great. Yes, he is great. For he is worthy, worthy, for he is great. Yes, he is great. For he is worthy, worthy, for he is great. Yes, he is great. For he is worthy, worthy, for he is great. Yes, he is great. For he is worthy, worthy, for he is great. Yes, he is great. Oh, give thanks unto Yahuwah, for he is great. Yes, he is great. Oh, give thanks unto Yahuwah, for he is great. Yes, he is great. For he is worthy, worthy, for he is great. Yes, he is great. For he is worthy, worthy, for he is great. Yes, he is great. Oh, give thanks unto Yahuwah, for he is great. Yes, he is great. Oh, give thanks unto Yahuwah, for he is great. Yes, he is great. For he is worthy, worthy, for he is great. Yes, he is great. For he is worthy, worthy, for he is great. Yes, he is great. For he is worthy, worthy, for he is great. Yes, he is great. For he is worthy, worthy, for he is great. Yes, he is great. For he is worthy, worthy, for he is great. Yes, he is great. Oh, give thanks unto Yahuwah, for he is great. Yes, he is great. Oh, give thanks unto Yahuwah, for he is great. Yes, he is great. For he is worthy, worthy, for he is great. Yes, he is great. For he is worthy, worthy, for he is great. Yes, he is great. For he is worthy, worthy, for he is great. Yes, he is great. Oh, give thanks unto Yahuwah, for he is great. Yes, he is great. Oh, give thanks unto Yahuwah, for he is great. Yes, he is great. For he is worthy, worthy, for he is great. Yes, he is great. For he is worthy, worthy, for he is great. Yes, he is great. For he is worthy, worthy, for he is great. Yes, he is great. For he is worthy, worthy, for he is great. Yes, he is great. For he is worthy, worthy, for he worthy, worthy, for he is great. Yes, he is Yahuwah, you are awesome. Yahuwah, you are great. Yahuwah, you are worthy. And you're worthy to be praised. I'll magnify your name. All heavens and the earth will proclaim your grace. Yahuwah, you are awesome. Yahuwah, you are great. Yahuwah, you are worthy. And you're worthy to be praised. I'll magnify your name. All heavens and the earth will proclaim your grace. Yahuwah, you are awesome. Yahuwah, you are great. Yahuwah, you are worthy. And you're worthy to be praised. I'll magnify your name. All heavens and the earth will proclaim your grace. Yahuwah, you are awesome. Yahuwah, you are great. Yahuwah, you are worthy. And you're worthy to be praised. I'll magnify your name. All heavens and the earth will proclaim your grace. Yahuwah, you are awesome. Yahuwah, you are great. Yahuwah, you are worthy. And you're worthy to be praised. I'll magnify your name. All heavens and the earth will proclaim your grace. Yahuwah, you are awesome. Yahuwah, you are great. Yahuwah, you are worthy. And you're worthy to be praised. I'll magnify your name. All heavens and the earth will proclaim your grace. Yahuwah, you are awesome. Yahuwah, you are great. Yahuwah, you are worthy. And you're worthy to be praised. I'll magnify your name. All heaven worthy to be praised. I'll magnify your name. All heavens and the earth will proclaim your
Allah, Yahuwah, you're worthy, you're worthy, you're worthy, you're worthy. Allah, Yahuwah, come on, you're worthy, you're worthy, you're worthy, you're worthy, you're worthy. He's worthy, praise him for my labor, but not a day of resting, so praise and worship to him. Come on, praise him. You're worthy, you're worthy, you're worthy, you're worthy. You're worthy, you're worthy, you're worthy, you're worthy, you're worthy. Come on, you're worthy, you're worthy, you're worthy. Allah, Yahuwah, you're worthy, you're worthy, you're worthy, you're worthy. You're worthy, you're worthy, you're worthy, you're worthy. Come on, Baruch the name of Yahuwah. Baruch his name, Baruch his name. You're worthy, you're worthy, you're worthy, you're worthy. Worthy, 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 worthy. Come on, Kadesh is your name. Come on, his name is Kadesh, his name is holy. He is holy, he is the Kadesh power. Come on. You're worthy, you're worthy, you're worthy, you're worthy. You're worthy, you're worthy, you're worthy, you're worthy, you're worthy. You're worthy, you're worthy, you're worthy, you're worthy. You're worthy, you're worthy, you're worthy, you're worthy. You're worthy, you're worthy, you're worthy. Praise belongs unto him. And there is no law, neither is there any instructions against praising him. He's worthy, he's worthy, he's worthy. You're worthy, Abba Yahuwah. You're worthy. On the Sabbath, one thing that remained consistent is their offering, is their time of offering. And if not one scripture is ever read on the Sabbath, and there is not ever one class that is ever promoted, the thing that must be remembered and remain, and that is our sacrifice and our offering of praise. It's important we understand that, because what comes first? Praise. We praise him. We worship him. We adore him. And when you adore him, there are times you just want to take just to let him know how much you appreciate him. Without the hustle and bustle of the yom, to be able to sit back and just be able to relish the time and to focus on praising him and worshiping him. It's important that we understand that. Especially with so much stuff going on. You get tired of seeing the same stuff. At least I do. I can't speak for anybody but myself. I get tired of seeing the same thing over and over again. We ought to experience him in our praise and our worship. We ought to have an experience with him in our time of praise and our time of worship. This is not a rehearsal. This is real. Are you following me?
Yes.
And it is so. Abba Yahuwah, you're worthy, you're worthy, you're worthy. You're worthy, you're worthy, you're worthy, you're worthy. You're worthy, you're worthy, you're worthy, you're worthy. You're worthy, you're worthy, you're worthy. You're worthy, you're worthy, you're worthy. You're worthy, you're worthy, you're worthy, you're worthy. You're worthy, you're worthy, you're worthy. You're worthy, you're worthy, you're worthy. You're worthy, you're worthy. You're worthy, you're worthy, you're worthy. 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 You're worthy, Abba Yahweh. You're worthy. Oh, worthy, 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 worthy. You're 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 so worthy. You're so worthy. You're so worthy. You're so worthy. You're 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 worthy. Come on, for a moment, lose yourself in the praise and the worship. We lose ourselves in everything else. We lose ourselves in people. Let's lose ourselves just for a moment in the hour. Come on. I'm reminded of the song that U3 sings. Work on me. Come on. I need you to work on me, Abba Yahuwah. Come on. So I can be Kadesh. I can't do this by myself. Come on, praise him for his greatness. There is none like you. No one else can touch my heart like you do. I can search for all eternity, Yahuwah, and find there is none like you. Come on, help me sing. There is none like you. Come on, minister to him. No one else can touch my heart like you do. I can search for all eternity, Yahuwah, and find there is none like you. Come on, come on. There is none like you. No one else can touch my heart like you do. I can search for all eternity, Yahuwah, and find there is none like you. There is none like you. No one else can touch my heart like you do. I can search for all eternity, Yahuwah, and find there is none like you. Come on, there is none, there is none. There is none like
I can search for all eternity, Yahuwah, and find there is none like you.
Come on, minister to it, minister to it.
There is none like you. No one else can touch my heart like you do. I can search for all eternity, Yahuwah, and find there is none like you.
Come on again.
There is none like you. No one else can touch my heart like you do. I can search for all eternity, Yahuwah, and find there is none like you.
Come on, one more time.
There is none like you. No one else can touch my heart like you do. I can search for all eternity, Yahuwah, and find there is none like you.
Come on, let him know there is none like him. Yes, he is. Y'all remember that one? I love you. I love you. I love you, Yahuwah, today. Because you cared for me in such a special way. And yes, I praise you. I lift you up and I magnify your name. That's why my heart is filled with praise. Can y'all sing that? Come on, let's sing it. 1, 2, ready, sing.
I love you. I love you.
Come on, sing to him.
I love you today because you cared for me in such a special way. And yes, I praise you. I lift you up and I magnify your name.
Come on.
That's why my heart is filled with praise.
Come on.
I love you. I love you. I love Yahuwah today because you cared for me in such a special way. And yes, I praise you. I lift you up and I magnify your name. That's why my heart is filled with praise.
Come on, second chorus.
My heart, my mind, my soul belongs to you because you cared for me.
Come on, in such a special way.
In such a special way. And yes, I praise you. I lift you up and I magnify your name. That's why my heart is filled with praise.
Come on.
My heart, my mind, my soul belongs to you because you cared for me in such a special way. And yes, I praise you. I lift you up and I magnify your name. That's why my heart is filled with praise.
Come on, I love you.
I love you. I love you. I love Yahuwah today because you cared for me in such a special way. And yes, I praise you. I lift you up and I magnify your name. That's why my heart is filled with praise.
Come on.
I love you. I love you. I love Yahuwah today because you cared for me in such a special way. And yes, I praise you. I lift you up and I magnify your name. That's why my heart is filled with praise.
Come on, one more time.
I love you. I love you. I love Yahuwah today because you cared for me in such a special way. And yes, I praise you. I lift you up and I magnify your name. That's why my heart heart is filled with praise.
Come on, praise him, praise him. He's worthy of all praise and esteem. And we do hop him for all that he's doing, all that he's done, and all that he's yet going to do in our lives. It is a great thing to stop and just take a praise break, a pause to praise him and to esteem him for all that he's done, all that he's doing, and all that he's yet going to do. He brought us through some troubling and trying times. He caused us to make it to the end of the tunnel to begin a new beginning. We didn't get stuck in our beginning. We didn't get stuck in our beginning. And so I appreciate him for that. There are many people that are still at the beginning. But we are not at the beginning. We have made it through to start another chapter and start another phase of our lives. So we do praise him and we do appreciate him for all of those things and so many more. And it is so.
And it is so.
And it is so. So I want to turn our attention to. Come on, praise him. Praise him. Yahushua, son of Nun, chapter 1, verse 7 and 8. Very important for us, especially in the day and time we live in. We're challenged on every side. And so it's important that we act wisely. We are flesh, but this flesh can be subject to the Ruach and to the instructions of the Abba. We have to discipline it to be subject. Because there are things and there are people out there that will make you want to act unwisely.
That's right.
But we have to remember we have to live the example, and we have to be that light that shines in obscurity and in darkness, no matter what's going on. Now, with that being said, acting wisely does not mean now you become a punching bag or a floor mat.
That's right.
It says, in other words, if you can avoid a situation, avoid it. If you can avoid a situation that can become truly detrimental and truly become something greater or worse than what it already is, if you can do that, that's acting wisely.
That's right.
When we can diffuse a bomb, we've acted wisely. So it's important that we understand that, because all fights are not intended to go into a battle or physically become an altercation. There are some things we can diffuse. We have to use wisdom.
That's right.
And I believe that it can be so. And so it's very important that we understand that. How do we do that? By holding on to the instructions of the Abba.
God.
Once again, Yahushua, the son of Nun, chapter 1, verse 7 and 8. And it reads in verse 7, only be you strong and very courageous, that you may observe to do according to all the Torah which Moshe, my servant, commanded you. Turn not from it to the right hand or to the left, that you may prosper wherever you go. Very important for us to understand. Why is it important for us to understand? Because in the day and time we live in, there are a lot of people that do not know how to act wisely.
That's right.
They do not. And you have to understand, if we don't walk in wisdom and we don't do what we're supposed to do, we become not just a target of the enemy, but we become a tool of the enemy.
Okay.
And we don't want to do that. And so it's important that we understand how to walk circumspectly before the hour. Verse 8, as I have tailored it to fit our time of confession, let us read this together. I will not let the scroll of the Torah
I will not let the scroll of the Torah
depart out of my mouth,
depart out of my mouth,
but I shall meditate in it,
but I shall meditate in it,
Yom and Layla,
Yom and Layla,
that I may observe to do
that I may observe to do
according to all that is written in it.
according to all that is written in it.
But then I shall make my way prosperous,
But then I shall make my way prosperous,
and then I shall act wisely.
and then I shall act
Now
wisely.
look at your neighbor, tell your neighbor, you shall act wisely, and
And
you shall act wisely. Look at your other neighbor, tell your other neighbor, you shall act wisely, and you shall act wisely. Take your hand and place it over your heart and say, Abba Yahuwah,
Abba Yahuwah,
I shall act wisely.
I shall act wisely.
Come on, Abba Yahuwah,
Abba Yahuwah,
I shall act wisely.
I shall act wisely.
I am determined
I am determined
to act wisely.
to act wisely.
I am determined
I am determined
to act wisely.
to act wisely.
Come on, I am determined
I am determined
to act wisely.
to act wisely.
And it is so.
And it is so.
And it is so. Let us have another song. Al Baruch Yahuwah, Al Baruch Yahuwah, with a heart of thanksgiving. Al Baruch Yahuwah, Al Baruch Yahuwah. Al Baruch Yahuwah, with the heart of thanksgiving. Al Baruch Yahuwah, Al Baruch Yahuwah, Al Baruch Yahuwah, with the heart of thanksgiving. Al Baruch Yahuwah, Al Baruch Yahuwah, Al Baruch Yahuwah, with the heart of thanksgiving. Al Baruch Yahuwah, when the hands lifted up, and my mouth filled with praise, with the heart of thanksgiving. Al Baruch Yahuwah, when the hands lifted up, and my mouth filled with praise, with the heart of thanksgiving. Al Baruch Yahuwah, Al Baruch Yahuwah, Al Baruch Yahuwah, with the heart of thanksgiving. Al Baruch Yahuwah, when my hands lifted up, and my mouth filled with praise, with the heart of
thanksgiving. I'll Baruch Yahuwah. When my hands lifted up, and my mouth filled with praise, with a heart of thanksgiving, I'll Baruch Yahuwah. When my hands lifted up, and my mouth filled with praise, with a heart of thanksgiving, I'll Baruch Yahuwah. I'll Baruch Yahuwah. I'll Baruch Yahuwah. With a heart of thanksgiving, I'll Baruch Yahuwah. I'll Baruch Yahuwah. I'll Baruch Yahuwah. With a heart of thanksgiving, I'll Baruch Yahuwah. With my hands lifted up, and my mouth filled with praise, with a heart of thanksgiving, I'll Baruch Yahuwah. When my hands lifted up, and my mouth filled with praise, with a heart of thanksgiving, I'll Baruch Yahuwah. I'll Baruch Yahuwah. I'll Baruch Yahuwah. With a heart of thanksgiving, I'll Baruch Yahuwah. I'll Baruch Yahuwah. I'll Baruch Yahuwah. With a heart of thanksgiving, I'll Baruch Yahuwah. I'll Baruch Yahuwah. I'll Baruch Yahuwah. With a heart of thanksgiving, I'll Baruch Yahuwah. When my hands lifted up, and my mouth filled with praise, with a heart of thanksgiving, I'll Baruch Yahuwah.
Sacrifices of the wicked is an abomination, hateful, and exceedingly offensive unto you. I'll be a hope, but the prayer be upright. It is your delight. Mystery 3 and 4. So shall you find great understanding and high esteem in the sight, O judgment of Yahuwah and man. And it is so.
And it is so.
To Tehillim 1 and 1. Baruch is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the unrighteous, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the instructions of the Abba, and he doth meditate, and it is so.
And it is so.
Ibram 11 and 6. But without belief it is impossible to please him. For he that cometh to Yahuwah must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him. Tehillim 34 and 15. The eyes of Yahuwah are upon the upright, and his ears are open unto our cry. Verse 17. The upright cry, and Yahuwah heareth and delivereth them out of all their troubles. Acts 1 and 8. But we shall receive power after that the Ruach has come upon us, and we shall be witnesses unto him both in Jerusalem and all Judea and in Shamar and unto the uttermost part of the earth. And it is so.
And it is so.
I'd like to read these to be a reminder to us. In just as a reminder, always to keep us reminded of what the enemy desires to do. He desires to destroy our belief. When belief is broken down, the foundations of our spiritual life give way, and the entire structure of our experience with Yahweh fails or falls. So you must understand it's important that we do not give the enemy any type of leadway. We give him no type of authority in our lives, so that we don't have to come back and be trying to fix what could have remained intact because we let our guard down. It is a time that we must be prepared and that we must always stay vigilant and stay sober, because the enemy is not a lion, but he goes as a roaring lion. And anybody knows what a lion does, you know that if he's mimicking a lion, that means he's coming in for the kill.
That's right.
He's coming in for the kill. He's not trying to play. This is not about playing. This is about being steadfast and abounding in the instructions of the Abba, and holding fast and holding on to the conviction of his instructions for our lives. Very important for us to understand that. Yehukanan 5:16 says, and of his fullness have all we received esteem upon esteem. Verse 17, but the Torah was given by Moshe, prophesying mercy and truth to come to fulfillment through Yahush, our Mashiach. So without our Mashiach, we don't have shalom and peace. This is why our people are in so much turmoil. This is why our people are going and don't know which way or what to do, because they don't really have the Mashiach. You know, people can pretend to have certain things, but if they don't have it, they don't have it.
That's right.
And eventually it's going to show. It is going to be a telltale. So it's very important that we understand what it is that he has called us unto and what we need to be truly walking into. Very important for us to understand those things. Are you hearing me?
Yes.
Very important. Let us have another song, please.
Worthy, worthy, Yahuwah is worthy of my praise. Worthy, worthy, Yahuwah is worthy of my praise. I said he's worthy of my praise. Worthy of my praise. Yahuwah is worthy of my praise. Worthy, worthy. Yahuwah is worthy of my praise. Worthy, worthy. Yahuwah is worthy of my praise. I say he's worthy of my praise. Worthy of my praise. Yahuwah is worthy of my praise. Worthy, worthy. Yahuwah is worthy of my praise. Worthy, worthy. Yahuwah is worthy of my praise. I say worthy of my praise. Worthy of my praise. Yahuwah is worthy of my praise. I say worthy of my praise. worthy, worthy. You is worthy of my praise. Worthy, worthy. You is worthy of my praise. I said he's worthy of my praise. Worthy of my praise. You is worthy of my praise. I said he's worthy of my praise. Worthy of my praise. You is worthy of my praise. Worthy, worthy. You is worthy of my praise. Worthy, worthy. You is worthy of my praise. I said he's worthy of my praise. Worthy of my praise. You is worthy of my praise. Worthy, worthy. You is worthy of my praise. Worthy, worthy. You is worthy of my praise. I said he's worthy of my praise. Worthy of my praise. You is worthy of my praise. I said he's worthy of my praise. Worthy of my praise. You is worthy of my praise. Worthy, worthy. You is worthy of my praise. Worthy, worthy. You is worthy of my praise. Worthy, worthy. You is worthy of my praise. I said he's worthy of my praise. Worthy of my praise. You is worthy of my praise. I said he's worthy of my praise. Worthy of my praise. You is worthy of my praise. I said he's worthy of my praise. Worthy of my praise. You is worthy of my praise. Worthy, worthy. You is worthy of my praise. Worthy, worthy. You is worthy of my praise. I said he's worthy of my praise. Worthy of my praise. You is worthy of my praise. I said he's worthy of my praise. Worthy of my praise. You is worthy of my praise. Worthy, worthy. You is worthy of my praise. Worthy, worthy. You is worthy of my praise. I said he's worthy of my praise. Worthy of my praise. You is worthy of my praise. I said he's worthy of my praise. Worthy of my praise. You is worthy of my praise. I said he's worthy of my praise. Worthy of my praise. You is worthy of my praise. Worthy, worthy. You is worthy of my praise. Worthy, worthy. You is worthy of my praise. I worthy of my praise, worthy of my praise. You is worthy of my praise. I said he's worthy of my praise, worthy of my praise. You is worthy of my praise. I said he's worthy of my praise, worthy of my praise. You is worthy of my praise. I said he's worthy of my praise, worthy of my praise. You is worthy of my praise. Worthy, worthy. You is worthy of my praise. Worthy, worthy. You is worthy of my praise. I said he's worthy of my praise, worthy of my praise. You is worthy of my praise. I said he's worthy of my praise, worthy of my praise. You is worthy of my praise. I said he's worthy of my praise, worthy of my praise. You is worthy of my praise. Worthy, worthy. You is worthy of my praise. Worthy, worthy. You is worthy of my praise. Worthy, worthy. You is worthy of my praise. I said he's worthy of my praise, worthy of my praise. You is worthy of my praise. I said he's worthy of my praise, worthy of my praise. You is worthy of my praise. I said he's worthy of my praise, worthy of my praise. You is worthy of my praise.
He's worthy of all praise, worthy of all esteem. We do appreciate the Abba for what he's doing, what he's done, what he's yet going to do in our lives on this great Yom. As we stand to, I'm going to read first. I'm going to always read as a reminder to us never to forget. Never to forget. Once again, we constantly see this is one of the biggest issues that is plaguing our communities and plaguing our people. And that is the rejection of the Abba. Right. That is the rejection of him being the reason we can stand, and him being our redemption, and him being these things. And you have so many fighting, and I'm talking about fighting tooth and nail to where it gets to the point where now it becomes slanderous. You have name calling, and you have all of these things that are coming out, and our people are doing their best to try to awaken our people concerning this very thing. You have to understand, Yehukanan dealt with the same thing, Gnosticism, meaning knowledge. And when you have knowledge out there, we know the writings tell us that knowledge would increase, but it didn't say what kind of knowledge. It just said knowledge. So those of us that are mature must understand how to weed out, separate the weeds from that what is important and for that what is not important. Because if not, we will find ourselves choking ourselves out with that what is unfruitful and that what is contaminated and poison. And once you get that poison in your system, if you don't know how to get it out, or if you don't even recognize it's poison, it'll kill you. We don't eat mushrooms, and the reason we don't eat mushrooms because mushrooms don't have seeds. Contrary to popular belief, and I know people go in and they go turkey on it. We don't eat turkey either. But they go in and they eat these things because they feel like it's okay. If you don't know the right type of mushroom to eat, it'll kill you. It may take days, but it will go in and it will destroy you. Why? Because it's a fungus. It's a fungus and it'll destroy you. And so with that being said, it's the same thing. If we don't recognize and know how to recognize that what is error versus that what is truth, guess what will happen? We will find ourselves digesting, ingesting, and find ourselves grabbing a hold of things that are not kosher and that are not healthy. And watch this. Before, if we don't get help and recognize that it's wrong, guess what will happen? Now, poison, your system is poisoned. And most of the time when people's systems are poisoned with this type of stuff, it's sad, but it's hard to recover them back. It really is, because they will fight you tooth and nail to the point to where it becomes slander. Trust me, dealt with it on this week where people backwards and forth. And it's horrible. Why? Because as a people, we don't have time to be bickering and fussing and debating over stuff. There's some things, except the Abba break that spirit of religious and self-righteousness, and he breaks that ignorance from over their lives and open up their eyes, that the scales fall off their eyes. You're just fighting a losing battle. Does that mean we give up? Absolutely not. But it means that once you sow that seed, remember, one planted, one watered, but Yahuwah gives the increase. If he's not giving the increase, you can't keep going in there fighting the ground. You hitting the ground, you gonna grow, you gonna grow. A farmer knows beating the ground don't do anything but make you tired and hurt you. There's a timing for all those things to take place. And so it's important that we understand that. And Yehukanan Aleph, chapter 5, helps us to understand the fight that Yehukanan was in when it came down to Yahush our Mashiach. And keeping us, those of us that are walking in this and fighting the great fight of belief, that we don't become complacent and become fearful and be willing to reject and drop the very thing that gives us, or the very person that gives us eternal life. So it's important that we understand these things. And this is the word. Once again, Yehukanan Aleph chapter 5, which is John chapter 5, verses 1 through